channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how I like to rest and recharge. In Mark chapter 6 verse 31, Jesus says, "Come with me by yourselves to a quiet place and get some rest." And recently I've just been challenged by this thought of where am I going for rest? Scrolling on your phone, binging Netflix, watching YouTube for 3 hours might feel like rest, but do you actually feel refreshed afterwards? Oftentimes, the things that will bring us the best care and rest are not the things that we feel like doing. When I'm feeling burnt out or after a long day, sometimes the last thing that I feel like doing is cooking a meal or looking after my plants. I feel like I don't have the energy to do anything but something mindless, like sit on my phone or just binge Netflix. But in those times, my mind needs to be cared for, not turned off. I've been realizing more and more that self-care isn't passive, and that putting in that little bit of extra energy or effort to truly care for my mind, body, and soul leaves me feeling a lot better and more refreshed and rested than if I had just binged Netflix for 3 hours. I think it comes down to building habits and disciplines that allow you to rest and care for yourself regularly, not just when you feel burnt out, because then it is too late. So I mentioned this in one of my other videos, but a thought that I've really been challenged with recently is just I've been feeling very tired, and in the moments when I am feeling tired, how often am I going to the God who brings rest? So I like to have time by myself in the quiet with Jesus as the center point for my self-care. I think there is this false idea that can kind of be communicated in Christian communities sometimes that self-care is selfish. But there's a quote from this podcast that I will link down below that said, "We retreat for the world, not from the world." And I truly think that that is what self-care is, taking time to get away from the world and the noise, to rest and care for myself so that I can better love the people around me. I think the key to being content is to slow down enough to just be present to the moment. I find that a lot of my stress and anxiety comes from living too far in the future, and that slowing down helps me to be present to the moment, fix my eyes on God, and just remember all of the ways that He has blessed me, and just to remember that I have everything that I need. So personally, I love to take time out to just be alone in the quiet. As an introvert, I feel like this is super important for me to just gain energy and be by myself. And a concept that I like to kind of integrate into my self-care is not bringing in new inputs. So having time where I'm not constantly bringing in new concepts and ideas, but instead just taking time to reflect on how I'm feeling, what I feel like God is saying to me or teaching me. So I like to put away my phone, turn off screens, and just journal or reflect or pray and really just seek how I'm feeling, why I'm feeling that way, what God is saying to me. Recently, I've been getting back into journaling. I feel like it's a great way to just make sense of and articulate your thoughts and what you feel like God is saying to you. It's also super fun to be able to have journals to look back on to see how you've grown and what you've learned and prayers that God has answered and everything like that. Another way that I like to show self-care is just by spending time with God and feeding my soul. So this includes things like reading a book, reading my Bible, listening to a podcast. Something I've been realizing recently is that you become what you put your time and attention towards. And as someone who wants to become more kind and joyful and loving, I need to make sure that I'm taking that time to spend with Jesus, reading His Word, and bringing in inputs that are going to shape my mind and my soul in a positive way. Taking some time to sit out in the sun and read a book is one of my favorite things to do. A little bit of sunshine is always good. I always feel so relaxed, and it's just such a great way to show care to yourself. Another way that I love to show self-care, and I feel like is just one of the best ways in general to care for yourself, is to nourish your body by feeding yourself a healthy meal. If you don't enjoy the process of actually cooking, then maybe opt for something a little bit simpler. But enjoying something hearty and healthy like a soup or another type of comfort food is such a great way to just nourish and care for your body, but also just makes me feel so much better mentally if I've been in a slump. Oftentimes when you're not feeling so great and you maybe are in a bit of a slump, taking the effort to make something healthy is one of the last things that you feel like doing, but actually putting in that effort pays off so much because it always makes me feel better. I really enjoyed the process of cooking as well. I feel like recently I've just been finding joy more so in the little moments. So instead of just viewing things like cooking or chores as something to rush through to get to the next thing, actually treating them as their own task and finding the joy in them has been such a great way to just show care to myself and actually just experience more joy throughout my day. And one of my favorite ways to show self-care is to just spend time investing into my hobbies, just things that bring me joy. So for me, doing things like baking, gardening, caring for my plants, roller skating, these are all things that I just love to do and are just fun hobbies for me. They allow me to slow down, be creative, rest, experience joy, do something that is not work. We live in such a work-focused culture that tells us that we need to be productive all the time. Sometimes we don't have time for hobbies or we think they're a waste of time. And a question worth asking yourself is, do you even have any hobbies? I know a few years ago I did not, but I would strongly encourage you guys to just take some time out to do something that you enjoy, something that doesn't help you get further to your career goals or financial goals, but just something that makes you happy and is fun to you. This is one of the best ways to show self-care, and I love just integrating these little things throughout my days and throughout my weeks. I so strongly encourage you guys to sprinkle little moments of self-care just throughout your days and throughout your weeks. You don't have to wait until you are completely burnt out and exhausted to show your self-care. Do it every day, little moments. For me, that is making sure that I'm spending time with Jesus in the morning, praying and reading my Bible, or watering my plants in the afternoon, or taking one night a week to go roller skating with my friends. Whatever self-care looks like for you, I encourage you to spread that throughout your week and do it regularly. I think that is the key to feeling rested and feeling content, is actually not feeling like you have to get everything done before you can rest, but integrating rest into your everyday rhythms. But that is my video for today. That is how I rest and recharge. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this gave you some ideas or some inspiration. I would love to hear down in the comments your favorite way to show your self-care. I love you guys so much. Make sure you look after yourselves, and I will see you in my next video.